no practice slides, no touching the stones, no sweeping. And we will note we are using the second position for this round.
Asking the hard-hitting questions that you want to hear. Welcome to On the Couch with Scott Strauss.
So, Maddie and Aidan, you guys have been curling a long time. Like, where did you start your curling careers at?
So mine was, I have 3 siblings, and they all started before me, actually. And I started.
Please deliver your counterclockwise. Last stone draw.
From the shores of Lake Michigan here in Traverse City, Michigan, we're live at the Traverse City Curling Club for the 2024 USA Curling Mixed Doubles National Championship. 16 teams competing for the right to represent the United States at the 2024 World Championships in Östersund, Sweden. Here we see the standings here in Pool B. Anderson, Stapera, and Gavin Schuster leading the pack at 3-0. Anderson, Richardson, Bear, Oldenburg at 2-1. The Hamilton siblings and Weldon and Franey both at 1-2, and The Burrs and Podol and Perry both 0-3 at the bottom of the standings. Big feature matchup tonight with Matt and Becca Hamilton. And the top jerseys in the field thus far. Taking on Madison Bear and Aidan Oldenburg. Their jersey's not too far behind. Matt once again getting all the camera time, as he tends to do. Tyler George coming to you live for this evening draw. Moving day for Pool B. Joined by 2010 Olympian Jason Smith. Jason, thanks for coming in, taking time away from the schedule to join.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me, guys.
And Jason, when you have a game that Matt is playing in, really our job is half done already.
That is true.
We don't have to say a lot. When he plays against Schuster in particular, then we just put the headsets down and we're good. But you get some good entertainment from these two teams tonight, and we'll see if we can keep up.
Yeah, you always know what they're thinking. There's no question as to what the shot call is or what's going on in their head, because they're going to share that.
I don't know in 4 years if I ever said the words, I wonder what's going on in Matt's head.
I don't think anyone's ever said that.
Going with their stars and no stripes kits tonight.
Is that uniform number 3 they've had on?
I've only seen 2 that I can remember. This one and the one that was in the intro video.
Okay. I haven't seen many of their games. Obviously, I'm on the other draw, so I haven't seen them in person much.
As big a fan as you are of Matt and Becca's, obviously. Tough to tear yourself away and focus on your competition, but you're doing an amazing job so far.
Why, thank you.
It's a free bird. Yeah. I don't know.
My teammate in this game, my men's teammate, Aidan Oldenburg. Great player, great guy, works hard.
Yeah, a couple teammates out there for you right now. With
Sam.
The coach as well.
Sam as well, yep.
And the legendary Ann Swisshelm we see on the near end as well, sporting those same stars. She loves the kits. That's been confirmed too.
Oh.
I know. Shocker.
Matt and Becca will be starting things off as Bear and Oldenburg win hammer by virtue of the last shot draw before the game. Becca starting off with the outturn draw. And Jason, you just came off of this sheet from your previous game. Looked like rocks were finishing maybe a little bit more. We were waiting for that with the scratch to see if they'd curl more. Speed didn't seem to change a whole lot, but maybe just a little bit more curl at the end.
Yeah, the speed was pretty similar to what it's been, very fast all week. Early in the game, we tended to get a little more curl than we were even from like third end on. But there definitely was a little more finish, especially if you crossed over the center line and we're trying to get into that side of the house. It would definitely take off and get in there.
And we also saw maybe a half dozen rocks over the course of the game. The outturn going down and the in-turn coming back for right-handed players that took a really sudden turn and crossed over. I don't know that we can blame your teammates' draw to the top of the 12-foot that crossed the center on that, but there were a couple that looked like they picked or caught a spot, and we were trying to figure out if that was something with just inconsistency with the scratches or if there's something on that side of the sheet, because it was always on that side that seemed to be catching.
We talked about it after the game, and we were questioning that first rock she threw, if that was maybe something with the rock where a couple times it would grab and curl a little more, because the one that she did end up drawing around that guard, she said she was tight, but she didn't think she was, 3 feet tight where it should have curled enough to get by that center guard. The one later in the game picked, so that was not a good indication, but she had a couple others that were kind of finishing hard.
Mine's okay.
Here is Matthew Hamilton. Throwing the outturn come around. Matt and Becca qualifying for this championship event by virtue of 4-person points on tour this year. Becca and Matt playing a ton of women's and men's events. Now on the flip side, Madison Bear and her teammate Aidan Oldenburg qualified through the Southern Mixed Doubles qualifier. 2-1 start for this squad, and playoff hopes. If they could get a win tonight, put themselves in the driver's seat.
Yeah, we're getting to the heat of the competition now. I get a few games in, and now it's going to come down to the last 4 or whatever, and it's going to be tight in both pools.
And on the flip side, Matt and Beck are really desperate for a win to try to get to that second win. And that third loss, Smitty, probably is the point where you feel like we're hoping for a tiebreaker at best and maybe already out of playoff contention.
Yeah, I don't think 3 losses is going to eliminate you. I think that should be a tiebreaker, but you never know. You never know what's going to happen at the top of the standings and who's going to beat who. Especially if those top 3 beat each other and they end up with only 1 loss apiece.
No, it's behind it.
So let's go firm and try and roll on top.
Okay.
Our first hit of the matchup. Matt throwing firm weight, out turn side.
Whoa! Yup! Yup!
Does roll over, but moves their own to the back of the 12-foot. Still second and third count for Maddie and Aidan.
Yeah, red stuck around on the back, too. That could come into play a little later if rocks start flying around a little bit.
It doesn't appear as though, and I think even more so since they scratched the stones, like the biggest difference seems to be that the rocks are kind of dead in the house, that they don't really seem to kick off very hard, and the rolls are a little dead.
Weight's good.
These rocks are still very active. I mean, they were crazy active at the beginning. You know, and it might be just dealing with them cooling down too. You know, who knows how long they actually sit on the ice before they're, you know, played with. And obviously they cool them down temperature-wise on the bottom, but you know that surface on the side too could build up some ice. And
really nice shot there by Aidan.
That's
Right on top of the button. And broken record, Smitty, we say over and over how important that position is above the tee line, keeping the position so you can use your stones, take that position away from your opponent too.
Yeah, that's really all this game is. I mean, obviously there's 90% of the shots are draws to the 4-foot, so you have to control that top of the 4-foot. You get rocks that are behind the tee line, and you don't want to say they're useless, but they can hurt you definitely more than they can help you.
Yep.
We were appreciative in your game that it ended up, we had a couple ends in the first 4 that turned into regular curling ends.
It did, yeah.
Guard replace and play into the corners a little bit, the double, able to call some different action.
Yeah, our power play, you know, we were split the house and just kind of playing split, and then I made the run back to one end and kind of opened it up, yeah.
Yeah, Kim makes the double for the 2 in the 4th, I think it was.
You guys like it. As players, we like it too. That's a little more natural to play those open ends that you're used to playing every day.
Sure. And actual situations where you have a decision to make as opposed to, well, we better go there because we have to, because if we don't, they will.
Yeah, you can get a headache looking at angles, you know, every single shot of every end. So it's good to have just open hits and open draws of the wing every so often.
14-3.
Out turn come around here from Oldenburg. Trying to get to the inside.
Pretty good.
Good position again.
Not bad.
That's real good.
I think that's good.
Only 1 stone left in this end. You hear Matt saying they're hooped.
Yeah, I guess. They get 2.
They have this tap.
They get 2 if you go here.
Yep.
Right. That was so
Heard Maddie say 14-4 on that last shot. And that's fairly close to what we've seen for speed throughout the week, as that was probably back 8s without touching that stone. And we've seen low 15s for clean draws on the quickest paths.
We're seeing some different speeds on different sheets too. Sheet B, which is the A sheet here, is by far the quickest. Okay. It's probably 3 or 4 feet faster than any other sheet, and it's also a little straighter, which could be the reason why it's a little faster.
I've seen nothing but this sheet. So this is good to know. It's like there's a world outside of this.
There is a
You're
world outside
telling
of
me
sheet
they play
C.
games on other sheets?
They do, yeah.
And it's different speeds,
it's
too?
different speeds. Yeah, houses are different paintings. Like it's pretty epic.
That's
you should go check it out.
So it must be like to the left and right of
exactly.
where we're watching here.
Yep, left and right.
So Matt and Becca kind of forced to try to give
Take it to
2.
try.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take a little extra ice.
Yeah, we got to get
Looks
around
like there
3.
is a draw to the side of the forefoot for a 3rd point. They just need full 4. Already with 2. And a shot again you see considerably more in mixed doubles, Jason, with Becca's last, being content to give 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because 2s are kind of 1s in mixed doubles with how often you see multiple point scores. So
Yeah, they are. They're, you don't want to say they're expected, but it's not necessarily a bad thing if you're giving up a 2. You're trying to avoid giving the 3s and 4s. It's a lot easier to get a deuce in this game than, say, regular curling, just because you already have one in the house that's buried and they can't hit it. So
final stone of this first end, Maddie Bear throwing in turn, come around draw to the side of the forefoot. So a little different path than what they've thrown already.
It's close.
Stay close. Line's great. Might need to hook a little,
Really
but
want to make sure that you're far enough out to start on this shot to give it a chance.
yeah, this could be a couple feet slower when you get out this far, but looks like she's okay as long as it curls.
hook.
It really needs to finish. Looks like maybe a little heavy too.
The one turn at the end. No.
And a good try. It does end up just being a 2.
2 yellow.
But it will be a 2-0 lead for Bear and Oldenburg after one end to play.
Good try.
Twin Cities Orthopedics is ready to go with more doctors, specialty services, and convenient urgent care locations. Ready, set, TCO.
I'll be just right down to it. I can work it a little bit too.
Okay.
So conversion with the hammer to start off this game for Bear and Oldenburg. 2-0 lead over the Hamilton siblings.
Never a bad thing to start out with a deuce in the first end, kind of get the game rolling.
Felt a little less too.
Yeah, you feel comfortable.
Line's
You got
great,
your
though.
2.
It's running.
Worked well with the
Go
hammer.
ahead.
And now that all-important first shot, Jason,
Easy.
so often dictates how this end plays out.
Close to
When
straight.
that first shot is deep, especially, you give your opponent that chance with hammer to stack 2 under,
on, keep going.
starting the end off. But no problem here for Aidan Oldenburg. Sweeping it after Matt threw it.
Yeah, that first one changes the end completely. And even so, if it's top 4 compared to frozen to it, if there's a little space, not a little space, it's crazy how that one rock can dictate how the end's going to play.
409.
Well, it's all there.
Becca Hamlin with the in-turn draw. And pre-scratch on the stones, this is the side we saw more curl on earlier in the week, but they seem to be even up at this point. Don't really see a whole lot of difference between the two.
Yeah, I would agree. We didn't. We've played on that. She's twice now, and the first time this wall side did curl a little more. This last game,
yeah,
was
your first one was where we saw that the most too in the first game.
Okay.
Nice shot by Becca, cozying up to that stone on a good angle.
How about a draw to the forefoot? What do you think about that call?
You know, it just might work.
It just might work.
I hadn't considered it until you mentioned it right now.
Wait, close.
And it's something we see in all seriousness with the repetition of these shots, and again, nothing new for mixed doubles, but on this ice surface in particular, that you play 3-4 in a row on a line, and it seems to get a little faster and a little straighter each time.
we're overcrowing it.
Players are throwing what they think is the exact same throw after making it,
Not bad at all.
and then going 3-4 feet past and not curling as much.
One thing I've noticed too is that first rock is just it's a few feet slower. Like when you come back to the home end. It wasn't so much now after they scratched the rocks, but earlier, that first one you would throw back was always 3-4 feet slower, so you had to give it just a hair more.
Right.
But then by the time that second rock went down that path, it was right back up to speed and super fast.
What do you like better?
Kind of don't love our angles, and if I don't make something good here, it's not great. The run's not a gimme. You gotta hit it nose or sliver low to hit that one, and then hit a red, and then spin out. Still draw.
Run?
Draw.
Draw.
Tap draw.
Okay.
Like, I'm gonna play
It's
it
pretty
tight.
quick
If we
here.
check the guard, it's totally fine.
Okay.
Radio personality Matt Hamilton.
It's a little light.
Little intern tap, or we believe we heard Matt say. Draw first, tap second.
Yeah, playing it tight to the guard.
Need help?
Like you said, if you chip that guard, not really the end of the world.
Switch. On in.
Got some work to do on this one, it looks like.
Rock still carrying. That's going to get that close to the yellow.
Fit.
Angle's not too bad, but going to need to unlock that yellow stone at some point.
Okay.
Now out turn. Room down from Maddie Bear. Smitty, we learned tonight that Maddie's mother is the watermelon seed spitting champion of Partyville.
Wow.
This is confirmed by Maddie.
Okay.
I wouldn't come to the air with a fact like that unless we had it 100% true.
Wow.
I don't know how many competitors there were in this competition.
It doesn't matter.
It really doesn't.
It doesn't matter. You're
the
still a champion. You're
That's
the
it.
champion. Like there's no doubt about it. You have the trophy or whatever they give for
First.
it.
I think it's good.
First place.
Yep.
That's fine.
And I don't know if there's a parade or if you
Can I
defend
get
that
close
title
enough to this
at
guard
some
and
point,
tap
or
the
if,
nose?
you know, you're hanging out in a bar and somebody walks up and says, "I heard you're the champ."
It could be an
With
ongoing
seed
challenge.
spitting,
Yeah, ongoing
just
challenge.
constantly having to defend your championship.
People knocking at your door like,
I
I'm
need
ready,
to
let's
open
go.
something up.
Just slid pretty tight and try to get it out, and then just like
Right?
didn't want to give it too much weight though. So
Let's peel.
I mean, that's definitely
And when I brought this up to Maddie, she didn't seem surprised that somebody was asking
And?
about it. I don't think it was the first time it's been broached.
So it's a known fact for, amongst other people
Almost
too.
like you don't know this already.
Yeah.
I mean, it might.
Matt throwing some weight now, trying to open things up.
Whoa!
See if you can get that double over the top. It does clear both guards.
Got them both out of there. Great shot by Matt.
It's a very good result.
Here's a shot you don't throw much in mixed doubles compared to the four-person curling as a guard. You know, sometimes you could be, throw one or two a whole game. They're not easy to throw. It's a little bit different weight, and when the ice is so fast, you feel like you're just
I think so.
barely kicking out and barely letting it go to get it down there.
Yeah, it's that constant back and forth of positioning in the fours, and when that guard is either run or cleared, it's because you have no choice, not because, oh, we have a great opportunity if we play this now. It's, oh, we better open this or we're in some trouble.
Yeah.
So Oldenburg playing the out turn to replace the guard.
Can jump it early.
Side that
line's
generally has
good.
been a little quicker and
It's
straighter.
close too.
He's good at these guards. He's played lead for us a little bit this year, so I suspect this will be right on target.
We're really high.
You gotta go. You're fine. Okay.
Well, that would be what we call a 1, just over the hog line.
Fortunately.
Does the job, though. Sometimes in a little bit swinger ice, those one guards can be almost useless, but here I think that's
We just
plenty
gotta
good.
Get by it. Then they have to try and hit their yellow.
Yeah.
But, like, we need to sit shot rock, I think, here.
What?
I think we need to sit shot rock here.
Okay.
So just control.
That worked well, John.
An inch.
Okay.
It's like the little angel on my
I think it's actually normal because that thing's got to kick off our rock and move.
Hamilton thinks he's got enough to play this in-turn hit.
Whoa. Close. Yep. Hard. Hard.
Needs to get by the one in the top 8s.
Nice shot, Matt.
Nice shot. Really well done.
That changes the end around. That's now the angles are in their favor now, and they're sitting shot rock.
Pick this?
Yeah, you can throw a board at it though.
Yeah, there may be enough that
really
they can
like
still
playing
pick
at the
that rock out.
They're 4-1 right now, right?
I think so.
And if we make this, they could probably
I
chase
just-
this, couldn't they?
Yeah. I think right now they might be able to get enough. It's overburied, but they might be able to do that.
Okay. Well, we can try it, but there's not a lot of harm, right?
I don't
Unless
think
we
so. As long as you don't touch the
take the
two.
guard, yeah.
I guess we can't hit
I was
the
seeing
guard.
the other way
If we
myself,
flash it, it's
playing
probably
your
okay.
yellow a little bit
Yeah.
softer weight, but this works
I mean,
too.
It's tempting not to throw it. She doesn't have a draw.
Do you want to just guard?
Guard this draw? It's not there.
Well, I mean, I'm saying guard the 2 in.
Yeah, we could do that.
Just put one
I
kind of
think so.
staggered with the high guard.
We'll play it the same way you just did.
Okay. Well, we want to guard this side.
Sorry.
I
Yeah, I
think
think
so.
the in-turn tap
think so.
would be
Yeah,
there
I think so
for
too.
at least 2, maybe 3. Even though it's overburied, the guard is so high. I don't
smart
think it's
than
hardly even in
picking it.
play for a
She has a piece
heavy
of it
draw
on
to
the right
tap.
side.
I think
Yeah,
you're right. I
I
think
don't
that's
think you can
that's a
cross
shot
it
they have to
enough,
protect
though.
right now.
And you have to play it tight because there's a chance they could play it
Yeah,
with
you're
either
right.
turn to make it because how high it is. So, like a 3 buried underneath that yellow guard probably is forcing to 1. I don't really see much other
How much
weight
of the
in.
top 8 red do you have?
That
looking at it.
out turn is pretty precise though.
buried.
You'd have to
Looking
have
out this
almost
side.
perfect weight and be
Right.
really close to that
Barely.
guard. I mean, it
Okay,
finishes,
ours
but there's
seems you had
not
enough to play
a
underneath,
ton of
but-
finish with that kind of weight to be able to bump
the
it.
top one?
Yeah, I think I like this though.
You just like the guard?
Yep. They have to play a pretty soft weight, and they could tap us.
Yeah, I like
into
the
even.
guard
I
here.
don't see anything from multiple here, so
Okay. Yeah, let's just throw a nice guard.
I like the guard.
Make sure they can't run it or anything.
Okay. We're on that side. Have the throw.
Matty Bear's final stone
Weight's close.
of the second end.
3. Should be nice.
Hearing 3 from Oldenburg. That's right where they want
Not a
it.
big ad at all.
2.
You can go. You can curl a
Switch
little
to
bit.
2, but does need to curl a little. Taking away the
Easy.
side you want to take away right now. The tougher shot, as you mentioned, Smitty, is the out turn come around because you have to cross that stone to get there.
It's to nose.
Sure, if it got under
I
enough
mean,
that
you
they
don't
couldn't
need to necessarily
run.
count the top one. If you throw like here,
Okay.
you can definitely get it out of the 4-foot and
Okay.
sit 2.
Okay, I think let's play a little tighter than that then for ice. Sit here more.
A little surprised they didn't finish that rock a little more with the sweep, just to make sure that they could take this one away too.
Well, I think they're going around it. I don't think they're playing a run. I think they're going around it to try and tap that one. And they were trying to take that in-turn away, which they did.
Yeah,
I
but
think a back
with the
line-
tight guard, if it gets close to the ring
That's true.
behind that guard, they don't have either tap.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, I think that's close. Play it super tight to the guard.
So final stone for Becca Hamilton, playing this out turn tap. Really has to get tight to the guard
A little bit.
in order to cross enough
A
to
little
make
light.
it.
It's a little light.
Whoa! Curl it! Curl it!
Once this gets close to the center, it should curl.
Curl it! Curl it!
It's by the guard easy. It's not going to get to that line. Ends up just being the single. So after 2 ends, 2-1 lead for Oldenburg.
And the weight wasn't crazy.
Oldenburg
so I was
and
like,
Bear.
let's just let it stop to make sure we get one. One.
And with the second end break, I'd like to talk to you about Steve's Curling Supplies. America's #1 curling equipment supplier for over 50 years. Proud to support USA Curling. No matter your skill level or budget, they have all of the top products from the most popular brands in the sport. Right now, you can save $10 on any purchase of $100 or more when you use the code USACurling10 at checkout or text Craig Brown and ask him for $10. Visit us at stevescurling.com for all your curling needs. Start of the third end in our feature matchup on Sheet C here at the 2024 USA Curling Mixed Doubles National Championship.
Only if you need to. Line's fine.
Tyler George joined by 2010 Olympian Jason Smith. Smitty, we see a good draw to start out by Becca once again. Really tough last shot that previous end. Had to get so close to the guard to make it for more than one, but strong start for Baron Oldenburg with this 2-point lead and hammer in the third.
Yeah, kind of ideal what you want to do. Get a deuce, give a single. Get a deuce, give a single. So keep that rolling. You're going to win a lot of games.
We did hear Matt before the game started, as they didn't have hammers, say, well, you know, we'll force get a deuce, and got it backwards right now.
Yeah.
We need to turn that around.
Becca must have misheard him.
Maddie's out-turn draw. Going to maybe chip a little off of that red stone if they can get it there. Looks like it's going to stop top of the 8-foot. Still not a bad spot.
No, that's definitely the miss. And we talked about controlling that 4-foot, and that includes being in the top 8 a little bit. You'd rather be there than a foot behind the tee line.
So even?
Yeah.
And that deep miss, too, Jason, can create a situation we see so often where the freeze is made and then you need 2 shots to move it. You only get 5, so.
Yeah, you can ruin your end in a hurry by being 6 inches or a foot heavy, and all of a sudden the other team makes a good freeze in there, and looks like we're having a tough time even scoring at this point.
Huge ad. What'd you have?
21.
Huge ad.
Matt with the in-turn draw now on the opposite side. Heard him say huge ad, meaning he thinks that he gave it a little extra push at the end because he thought he was short.
Close.
Line looks really good on this one.
Perfect line. Just needs to settle in a little bit. Tap a touch, but that's just fine. Good shot from Matt.
Intern.
Can we
Sometimes
ever
it just
like
takes
double the reds?
one of those to start get going.
This is a good call from Maddie and Aidan. A lot of times teams forget that they can bail out and peel these guards, and they just keep trying to throw these draws to get in there.
I'd rather run than the draw.
I like the run.
Okay. Intern.
Yep.
In-turn peel here for Aidan. Trying to run it maybe off the nose a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I like the call, too. You're really putting yourself in a spot where it's one shot. If you don't make it, you're going to be chasing and probably giving up a steal, throwing to a very small area. Here, your margin for error is considerably higher. Especially if you're going to do that, that moves things up a little bit. Chasing 2. Unfortunately, the guard stayed up there for him. It's so close to clearing that top red.
Still pretty good. Still pretty good, though. You opened it up now. Now, at this point, you're almost looking at just scoring rather than getting your deuce. So now it opens it back up for them to get a chance to get a rock in there.
And doing it that early in the end, recognizing with the rock setup, we probably need to bail. Now you have 3 more cracks. And it's not an all or nothing at some point, which can sneak up on you really quickly in mixed doubles.
Oh, it can. You don't peel guard one time, and all of a sudden you're giving up a 3. With or without the hammer.
2, 3. What? 2.
Both Matt and
I
Becca,
think the line's okay.
obviously a couple weeks ago in East Rutherford, New Jersey, winning their respective national championships. Will be representing the United States at the Worlds.
It's always straight, but I'd rather it sit.
And of course, the 2018 Olympic team in mixed doubles.
Do you know anyone that was on the men's team that year?
Yeah, Matt was.
No, Matt, that's true. Matt was, yes.
A couple of them in the building tonight. His teammate John Schuster is
3 of them
on the sheet
3 of the
next
4.
to him.
And yourself.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you were there too.
I remembered there was a tournament in Korea at some point. I don't remember what it was.
Things went pretty well. It was just recently, just had the anniversary, right?
Yep, February 24th of every year. Boys usually try to get together when we can and celebrate, bring our fancy gold coasters. Unfortunate there from Oldenburg, threw that really good, but that's one of those shots that the worst miss and the best make are about a half inch off of each other. So
Button's
Threw
tough.
it good.
That's
Got
the way
a
to
very
block
poor
us,
result.
like,
Now they're
ceiling right
in a
now,
little bit of
right?
trouble.
Especially throwing that much weight. It's really tough luck when you jam it straight in there and it doesn't move. I mean, literally an inch or a half inch either way, and that
I was
rock could be
thinking the
rolling
same
out
thing
of the
I just
forefront,
threw.
especially with how lively these rocks
Trying to
are.
get to the inside because they're running on the next shot anyway. And if we go around,
Make a pocket for him?
yeah.
Okay.
A half-inch higher on
Like this-
contact, and both those reds are gone.
That turns for you
Okay.
later.
It's like a 3-4.
Pretty big at that.
Matt now
Four.
playing on the out turn
like
side.
More. Feels like more. We got to play it really tight to the guard, so
Okay.
it's probably curl.
It's all there.
How
Feeling
much?
that
Top 4.
another rock in the house
Go
is their
top.
best way to continue
Let it sit.
going for this steal.
You can tell the experience Matt has with that one too. He let it go, and on Becca's
they're
watch,
on
it timed
line,
out to
so
be a
it's
little
not-
light,
it's not
but
like they
he
can get
could
a
feel that
triple
it
out
felt
of it, they
heavy.
can get a double
You
out
know,
of
no
it.
matter what the watch says, sometimes you get a little more glide, and you just know that it's going to carry a lot
straight
further
back.
than what that
Yeah,
watch
if we
says.
just touch the 5 here.
Good
Right?
lesson to learn if you're a new curler or just new to timing.
Out.
It's not necessarily reading that stopwatch; it's also reading the delivery and how it was thrown. Oh, Aidan doesn't like it.
Yeah, a little positive on the release. Will it get up enough to make contact? Not quite. So Maddie's going to have her work cut out for her on her last.
I think
Maybe
you take
looking at
away
a situation,
the inside edge
Jason,
here.
where
Well,
you're
I guess that doesn't matter.
hoping to give up a 2.
Yeah, Maddie might have to play a double at some point just to hold him to 2. Even with those rocks there
Could
right
be as
now,
much as top 4.
I think 2 is about the most you'd be able to get rid of.
Just not in the 4 foot.
I'll let you sweep it there.
Yeah,
I'll
just
go
give
for
me
top
give me
12.
a 25, 20. Even 25. I can get to 25 into the paint, no
You
problem.
heard Matt say even the top 4s isn't a bad spot. They think that as long as it's on the right line, the angles won't allow them to clear
you can
more
do a
than
touch
2
right.
stones. And the more in there, then the harder it is to decide if you could maybe play that in-turn draw around, as it's against a pile.
Yeah, moving 3 rocks is a lot more precise than just 2. You got to think of
Top
drag effect
12.
and where the
Top
rocks are going
8.
to go when they hit.
Whoa, then. It's got a curl. Whoa.
Weight's pretty good.
Whoa.
I want this to get up a little bit, get close
Whoa,
to center
no curl,
line.
No curl. Sit. Sit.
Stops right there, it'd be really good. That's a pretty good spot.
That's a good spot.
Could probably get 3 if you hit it in the right spot. Got to fire it. Just cross a hair.
Just a hair on the inside and
We can try it, right?
touch the one that's
Trying to go
the
straight back into the 5.
top 8 foot or
No, I was
top of the
thinking
4
we're
foot
gonna
there.
overcurl it for this one.
Okay. So the hair low?
Yeah, do you like the ice like if I take here?
I think so.
Okay, middle of rock.
If you nose this, you probably get the back 2. If you cross it a little bit, there's a decent chance you get 3 of them, which would be a huge make right now for Maddie, but really like to at least get 2 of them, so worst case, you have hammer down by 1 point playing the 4th.
This is also a really precise line. If you set this one out a little bit, it could run. You get it going a little bit closer to that center line, it could take off and curl even. So you really got to focus in on this one and make sure you're throwing it pretty straight.
Yeah, that center line definitely seems to be even more of a break point than you normally see in a curling game. Once it crosses, it goes, as you said.
Yeah, it's always fresh in this game. You're not really playing down that line.
So Maddie's final stone. See how many reds she can clear. This is a little on the wide side right now. It does get 2 of them, so not a bad result. It will be a steal of 2 for Matt and Becca. They lead 3-2 after 3 ends of play. And post third end, I'll tell you all about Warm Room Hero. Warm Room Hero is more than just software. They're curlers dedicated to building long-term relationships with your club. Warm Room Hero provides continuous support to ensure your website exceeds your members' expectations. Check out Warm Room Hero today at curling.club. That's Warm Room Hero at curling.club. Taking a look around the sheets at the other scores. On sheet B, Geving and Schuster, 2-1 lead over Anderson and Stapera. Sheet D, Weldon and Franey, Anderson, Richardson tied at 2. And on sheet E, Podol and Perry, 5-1 lead over the Burrs. That is the broadcaster bump there, Smitty, as Nate called the last game. They're leading 5-1. Claire Moores called the game this morning. Went out and got a victory.
Against me.
Against you.
Okay.
So you knew you had to come in here.
Oh, all right. That's the
firing
ticket.
them tomorrow
I'm going to be here every draw that I'm not playing. If that's the case.
Yep, stand it.
That's what we need. I'm going to get lots of volunteers now.
Yeah.
Keep going. You got to get full for it. Come on.
So back on our feature game.
Hard.
Big steal of 2 by Matt and Becca Hamilton to go up 3-2.
Great save.
Tyler George and Jason Smith
On the other end.
here in the booth tonight.
Sorry.
Your company on this
Just in the 4 foot a little,
chilly
so
Thursday evening in Traverse City. Looks like it's warming up tomorrow, though.
put it on a freeze.
I'm glad you know what day it is because, you know, these curling weeks, they all run together. You never know what
I kind of
day you're
guessed.
in.
I thought it was 50-50.
I know too. So I think we go
It was nice today being on the only one game day.
I like it.
Becca Hamilton's draw stops, biting top 4, never a bad spot.
It's a little light.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Bounce back end here for Maddie and Aidan.
Gotta go.
Really like to get a 2 here after the giving up the steal of 2 the previous end.
Close. You're on the top. Oh.
I just.
Oh,
There's that wrench.
there's that
yeah.
spot. I threw one earlier in that same spot that
Exact
kind of
same
curled there,
spot,
yeah.
yep.
Shoot. Good throw.
Thanks. That was top 4.
You were probably just nibbling.
Okay.
Which way you like?
Yeah, it's all the way to
Jason,
the
you
yellow.
said just a 1-game day for you, much easier. 3-game day for me after 4 yesterday, and you know you need a little caffeine bump late, even after the coffee earlier. So I got a nice Diet Dr. Pepper here in the booth, and got to thank USA Curling Chair of the Board Brett Jackson for that 12-pack he brought me.
It's light.
It's very nice
That
of him.
should
He's
get
a
me
great
through
guy,
the
though.
week.
He'll do that. He'll do that for anyone.
Unofficial sponsor of USA Curling
That's
web
good.
streams for every single time I'm in the booth.
Hard line.
Still haven't got the call from him, but
One day.
It's gonna happen.
It'll
It's
come
all-
one day.
Curl all the way. Good scrub back.
really nice
Really
shot
nice
there
shot.
from Matt
Good job.
Hamilton.
That was all
Just
you.
really nice shot. That sounds like something Richie would say.
Hey, Richie did say that a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. That's a great shot.
Boy, I threw that good.
Couldn't throw that any better.
He did give his sister credit for the sweep, though. Great result. And again, seeing Baron Oldenburg bailing right away. Playing the run.
Doesn't sound like he likes it.
Crossed that one up a little bit. He's not far off on any of these runs. Just can't get that inch right now. How do you think that would go over for Olympic broadcast, Jason? Just start throwing your own sponsor stuff
You
in.
gonna throw the same turn?
I would guess they would frown upon that. You probably wouldn't last long, or they'd be muting you when you.
Well, seeing as they don't allow you to, as an Olympian, to wear certain brands in that period of time, yeah, for the broadcasters, it's probably a no-no too.
26.
I remember in the games I went to, we had Nike everything, and of course Nike has multiple logos and all
maybe
the
a little
things. And
curl.
before the event started, they had to put
Just wait for it, though.
black
Wait
sewn
for
on
it.
patches over a bunch of the Nike symbols,
it?
even like the ones that were like in the back of the pants.
Wow.
It's fine. Yep.
Even for their own brand,
Good.
that is something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But understandable with the amount of money the sponsors put in to be a part of the Olympics. That's what you get. And we don't complain with all the stuff they give you there, too.
That's very true. You get a lot of good items.
Like these pants I'm wearing right now.
Oh.
Oldenburg, another go at the run. This one looked like he flared it a little bit.
Give it a few more years, and that stuff won't fit anymore.
A few more years.
Took about 8 for me, and then the stuff was no longer usable.
You made it 8 years?
I did. I did.
So cleared open again. This end looking very similar to the previous end. It's just the situation, Jason, where you got to make one of them at some point with these runs to get yourselves out of trouble.
Yeah, contacting the house is huge. You got to shake those rocks up that are in there and give yourself a different option rather than just continuing this run, especially with so few rocks. Yeah, you know, there's not many times not many bullets in the gun where you can keep firing at it.
32.
Heavy clean. Mine's fine.
I think I want to go.
All right, switch and go if you want to. Feels okay.
2.
Let it grab. Let it grab first.
2.
It's got to grab and go. Go ahead.
Matt telling Becca to
Knife
wait
it.
to finish
Hard.
it. Here, knife it from Matt.
Harder.
Meaning when you see that broom head turned
What weight do you
at
want?
a vertical angle, they're trying not to sweep it so much for distance,
More
as much
the
to get it
merrier.
to curl more.
Do you like firm?
You see a pretty dramatic difference with that, Smitty, on this ice?
Yeah, especially on championship ice where the rocks are sanded pretty well. You get that last little turnover with that stone, and that can be huge. I mean, sometimes it could be 2/3 of a stone that rock will finish and get over to, especially with that knifing.
Sure.
Not wanting necessarily to travel further, just to kind of go more sideways.
And for those watching at home, too, if you were going to do it for distance and for the line, then you'd keep that broom head at the horizontal angle that you normally would, so it will finish more, but it's also going to carry too.
Yeah, the full pad at about a 45-degree angle, and just trying to get both of them, both actions.
No, no.
Another peel weight shot from Oldenburg, trying to get this one to turn and make contact.
Hard, Betty.
Oh, really good result there. Almost got both reds to go.
If you do.
Much better than it was.
Yeah, they have an opportunity to score now. Looks like Matt and Becca are going to throw the hit at this yellow one, and Maddie should have a draw to the 4-foot or an open hit, whatever she chooses to throw.
Weight might be a little funky here, though, on the inside track. Well, they threw a couple hits.
I like the call, too, from Matt and Becca here. They were trying to figure out if they wanted to just freeze or kill it. They're ahead by a point. It's not nearly as precise a shot to play the hit.
11.
Yeah.
Make them look at it, too. Take the hammer to the next end if you force. They are playing the in-turn hit. Becca's final stone of the first half of this game.
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Close, yep.
Looks like a nice line, starting to turn.
Whoa, whoa.
Nicely done by Becca. And that one, Jason, in a 4-person game, you probably see them try to roll away so it's not a draw with backing. The mixed doubles game with only 2 players, when it has to be more precise, I like leaving that rock there as opposed to rolling away and leaving the clean draw.
See, I would go in between. I think I would have liked to see a roll like a little further on the other side of the 4-foot, just to make them think about it a little bit, right? Hey, do we hit this one? Do we draw? And maybe you get them, second guessing in their head before they throw it, rather than just stepping in the hack and firing it down there like they have been. And she's thrown this draw multiple times and with backing too, so it's nothing different than she's thrown. Sometimes in your head it can be a little more difficult when you don't have that backing. Just trying to throw that pure draw right to the 4-foot to score.
Final stone of the first half. Maddie Bear, in-turn draw with that backing on the back of the button.
Easy. Easy.
They like the path right now.
Go if you need to.
Oldenburg
Straight now,
seems
it's
to like
straight.
the weight. They don't need to curl at all.
I think you got to go for weight.
Yeah, has to make sure it's there. Got to carry a little bit.
Not bad.
Okay.
Will be a single still, so they let that die, and
Sweep on that way to
it's a
get it
steal
there.
of 1
1.
for Matt and Becca, and they lead 4-2 at the break. The 4th end break, halfway through, it's time for the Broomfitters break. Broomfitters.com is the place for good curling gear and fast shipping on everything curling. For a limited time, take 10% off your first order with the code USA. Visit Broomfitters.com.
asking the hard-hitting questions that you want to hear. Welcome to On the Couch with Scott Strauss.
So, Maddie and Aidan, you guys have been curling a long time. Like, where did you start your curling careers at?
So mine was, I have 3 siblings, and they all started before me, actually. I started in the Mankato Curling Club. There was a homeschool day, and so a couple of my siblings went and did that, and then it took me a couple years to get into it myself, but finally got into it, and I'm the last one doing it for my family, so I got to keep my family name going.
Excellent. And Maddie?
Yeah, my story's a little different too. Neither of my parents curled, but I got into it. They had me do Girl Scouts for a couple years, and my Girl Scout troop actually went to the curling club. The second I stepped on the ice in 4th grade, I loved it. I was sold. I didn't sell a lot of cookies, so I stuck with the curling instead, and here we are, and loving every second of it.
Great. Maddie, this one for you. Should toilet paper be hung over or under?
Oh, and now I'm like worried I was doing this wrong or something. Definitely over, not under.
Okay, interesting. And Aidan, what Disney princess do you most would likely relate to?
Probably Rapunzel.
Rapunzel.
Yeah.
Now let's go a little deeper with that.
We gotta take care of the hair. She's got long hair. I'm currently growing out the hair a little bit, so I feel like I like to be locked away too, just by myself.
Let's talk about your coach. Your coach is being coached by Sam Strauss.
Yes.
So
you may know him.
I do. Like, so do you think in a fight, do you think he could beat up Mark Lazar?
Yes. Yeah. I think Sam's a scrappy guy. And yeah, I think he could take it to him.
Great. If we think back to curling, and right now we have a design structure for who gets the hammer in the first end. And do you think the current way they do it is the proper way, or do you think it perhaps should be decided by, Maddie, like a dance-off?
I would be tempted to change it. I'm for all ideas, any and every. I don't know, I think we could come up with some really fun stuff.
And Aidan, if we were going to try to integrate, like, Nerf guns into curling, how would we do that?
I think you can shoot them at people when they're sweeping. Or as they're throwing. Just as they're sliding out, you can do a couple. Yeah, I think that's the way that I'd like to do it best,
Okay. So Aidan, sporks or pitching wedge?
Ooh. Like for eating?
Well, yeah. Like, what else are you using a spork for?
What are you using the pitching wedge for?
What plant would resonate most with you?
Plant?
Yeah. I'm assuming you both have a green thumb.
Say. I was kind of thinking a snake plant. Be a little feisty. Doesn't need a lot of sunlight. Can kind of just thrive in any environment. The other one that kind of comes to mind is, can I say a palm tree? Is that too tree-ish?
This is your time.
I like a palm tree. Really flexible. Can go with the wind. Bends back and forth.
And I'd like to close up with probably one of the most important topics we have is pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
I am okay with it. It's not my favorite. I will eat it sometimes, but pizzas are meant for creative freedom. So I think whatever you want on there, you can have it, and
Sure.
It's your world.
I would say not, but I actually appreciate the creative freedom answer. You know what? Fine, sure, whatever.
Okay. Well, guys, we really appreciate your time. Our time is up for this evening. We might be able to book another session in the future, but right now we're just going to wrap this up for our
Okay, back.
What was that? All right.
Back for the start of the 5th end.
14-8. 14.
The Hamilton squad with a 4-2 lead after a second consecutive steal in the 4th end. Leading 4-2 over
Okay.
Madison Bear,
Same as your last
Aidan Oldenburg, Tyler George here with 2010 Olympian Jason Smith. Great start for Maddie and Aidan, Jason, in the first end, getting there too, and have not been able to score since, and now trail by 2 points.
Yeah, got their deuce early and then just kind of have been on the wrong side of the angles for the last few ends. I got a feeling we're in for a great game, though.
And as we always have to remind John Landsteiner, it's faster after the break. With that mop, you see that one coasting by on the out-turn side. Yeah, he always forgot. I had to remind him every time, and I'm not going to stop doing that in my retirement.
I will remind every single lead I ever play with, no matter who they are.
Take the same turn?
Hey, 5th end, 6th end, or whatever it is, whatever end you're in, that's right after the break. You know, going to be a little quicker. Don't forget that. Use your sweepers, the friendly way to say it.
So good opportunity for Matt and Becca.
18.
Easy.
Take control of this end once again and get Baron Oldenburg chasing.
Close. Yep.
We mentioned at the top of the game, such an important game for both teams, especially for Matt
Yep.
and Becca.
Gotta
Trying
go
to stay
wide.
away from that third loss.
Gotta go wide. Probably
Yeah,
gotta
they're
go right
in
to
a
the
do or die
yellow.
position where they really have to start picking up their win total if they want to make the playoffs.
Good scrub. No. That's okay. Good job, Becca.
Good shot from Matt right to the top of the button again.
T-line.
So we'll see if Aidan can make this out-turn draw to the backing and stay away from a situation where they end up having to chase and run again.
I envy these players that can throw without the sweeper. Myself, if I try to throw and jump up and sweep my own, I have zero feel of how hard I should throw it, and it's probably going to be board weight. So I tell Kim, just stand by me. Just give me a time. Make me feel more comfortable.
It's coming up nice on a good line. Oof, got a little tight there, but
This way, Beck.
well called by
Back to
Matty. Great
freeze.
shot by Aidan.
Okay, yeah, real heavy.
And the other thing, Smitty, is when you throw board, then in the back of your mind, it's, well, I was going to be the one that had to sweep it. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Just being a good teammate, just for myself.
Just give it a little extra. You don't have to. Few less brush strokes.
Oh,
I have to give.
I'm a little heavy again. Oh.
How unfortunate. Got to make contact with something.
Matt switching sides now to the in-turn.
I didn't see what they call a little tap here of their own.
Just a tap, yep.
Right on.
Heard back line, now back 8. Little tighter line. So turning over a little earlier.
Whoa. Curl.
On a
Curl.
nice path now. Just needs to finish up.
Curl.
Nice shot from Matt.
Nice job, Matt.
Really good angles again.
Good judge,
Really
Beck.
came down.
Good rhythm going for the Hamiltons right now.
Yeah, they're finding their groove now. Angles are on their side. They have good weight control.
Oldenburg, same out-turn side.
Top 4.
Either a freeze or a tap.
I think we're there.
I think you want to move this maybe a
Close,
couple inches.
Back
You
4.
don't want a drag effect if you do have to play to it, but this is
hanging out there and a little heavy.
Yeah, just on the
Like I
wrong
say,
side of it there, and it's now the angle's playing dead into those stones in the back of the forefoot.
Yeah, we noticed in our game earlier on the sheet, as the game went on, it seemed to get a little straighter and straighter. He lost a little bit of that finish.
They have no real good blast now because it's always jamming
You try
over
to,
here.
with ice being so fast too, you give it anything, it's going to ride out a little bit and just skate like that one did.
Probably one of those line shots.
Okay, if it's good, I'll come around.
There she is.
Yeah.
Olympian, world champion, and Swiss helm.
Also recently coached the junior team at Junior Worlds.
Just going to say, just got back from Finland, coaching her USA men's squad, Wes Wendling, to a playoff finish, 4th place at the Junior World Championships. Eyelash short of the podium, but we're all proud of Wes and his guys.
Mine's good.
Yeah, they had a few things they battled the year. They have injuries, and they were changing up the team with that injury in play, and I'm proud of those guys. They were a lot stronger towards the end of the year, as you saw at the men's nationals, compared to earlier in the year.
That's good, Matt.
Okay, it's not bad. Good
Yeah, I
judge,
really
Beck.
enjoyed getting to play an event with those guys this
Try to
year.
get him moving.
As I mentioned, first tour event in 6 years.
We played you.
Yeah, we did. I won't ask you how it went.
You clipped us.
We
You
may have
clipped us.
snuck one by.
Okay.
Boys played good. Old man tried to make a couple. Richie was on the ice.
He was there.
He was there.
He was there. Yeah.
We're just speaking facts. That's it. We know the result. We know he was there.
He was there.
Yep. Look at this shot here by Oldenburg. Gets a whole bunch of rocks moving.
Thanks, Lena.
Kind of bad luck that red cornered their lone yellow one, but it is open for them to score.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a bad break for sure.
She's not missing draws, right?
What did you say?
I said she's not really missing draws, so I don't think like sitting 4 is necessarily gonna. And this probably jams. I like the draw.
Top button?
It may have sounded like a compliment from Matt, but it's
Just
a little
full
bit of
four,
mind
yep.
games too.
There could have been some mind games in there
Yeah.
saying, oh, she's been making these
No
draws all
question.
day. But almost tempting her to,
Kinda
telling her
like
what
the
she's
line
going to
you're
play.
thinking and being like this back
Yeah.
and forcing her to draw on this side.
Okay.
So like here, if you're all the way here, she might still come this way.
Okay. I'll keep the same ice I threw, and we'll
Yeah.
compare it. 420.
Yep.
Out-turn side. And with the 2-point lead, they're really looking at if we can steal,
how's
period,
he at?
here. And we don't need to make a look at
Feels there.
4,
It's running.
but let's
Look at
make the
there.
shot as tough as we possibly can.
Not quite.
Stealing a
down to
point
it?
or
No,
2
top
points, you
button.
got a great
Hey,
chance of
Logan.
winning the game.
To
She's
it.
still got
There
a
you go,
curl,
sweep
maybe
it.
running a little fast on this line
Sweep for
again.
nose. Sweep for nose. Sweep for nose. Yep. Yep.
I don't know if nose is good. Just inside is.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, first pin.
You can play the out turn.
Yep, looks like just a draw still.
What was it?
Yeah, either way. I guess I threw the out turn in my first one. It was just cooking.
Yeah, if you could wait here, it'll finish up nice.
Okay.
And this shot's all preference, Jason. Whichever turn you want to play, whichever one you've already played, whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah, she talked about throwing. She threw that out turn with her first one at the end and knows that line, and she just said she overthrew it a little bit, so she'll know how hard she has to throw this one.
Okay, you got it.
Really like to get this point, to cut the deficit to 1. They still have their power play to use. Out turn draw. Final stone of the 5th end for Maddie Bear.
Felt good. It felt a little heavy, actually.
It's close.
If it's heavy, they just need to make sure they cross that red stone, even if they need a piece of it.
Need a rub?
Yeah.
Yes. Easy. Whoa, whoa. Yes.
15 should be pretty close.
Come to the room.
Might get a little bit of touch.
Nice shot, Maddie.
That's well called. Good read by
Never
the
doubt.
sweepers and by Maddie herself. They do get that single, and Matt's correct. She's not missing the draws.
Actually needed the rub, but
4-3 the Hamiltons lead
Another.
after 5 ends of play.
back 4, just sticking without the rub. So
Okay.
good throw. We can score again.
We scored. Nice run on yours.
Thanks.
Scores on other sheets for this night draw. Geving and Schuster on sheet B, leading Anderson's Tapera 3-2. Sheet D, Weldon and Franey with a 5-2 lead on Anderson Richardson for a possible upset there. And on sheet E, Podol and Perry holding on to that broadcaster bump with a 6-5 lead over Regan and Todd Burr. And again, our feature game, On sheet C, Matt and Becca Hamilton 4-3 lead over Madison Bear and Aidan Oldenburg.
A lot of good games out there tonight.
Tight matchups all around. Definitely a little bit of a surprise with the Weldon Franey leading in that matchup. They've been getting some good results. We haven't seen them on the feature sheet as of yet, but scores have either been close or they've been on the right side of them so far.
Yeah, I watched one of their games because they were playing on a sheet that we were going to play on, and they it seemed they didn't win the game, but they very well could have. They were in control the whole game. It seemed like they just missed the one big shot and end that they had to make.
Yeah, I'm not just trying to roll in, move them off the center.
So the Hamilton's using their power play here in the 6th with this 1-point lead. Opening center guard thrown by Madison Bear. So Becca Hamilton playing the intern split on this center guard.
Where is it?
It is not a no-tick zone in mixed doubles curling. You can't remove any rocks in play on the first 3 throws, but you can tick stones and move them around.
Now roll it. Go, go, go. Yep, yep.
Well, that's going to be a really good result there from Becca. Rolls under the corner.
A little bonus there, getting that rock partially buried as well.
That's why I was
Yeah, they would have liked to move the center a little more than they did, but not too bad. Actually, more of that red rock showing than we thought on the corner. So Oldenburg trying to use that center guard and go around. Be an aggressive steal attempt for Bear and Oldenburg as long as they have that guard.
Nice, close, yes. Hard.
Oof. Boy, Maddie has been calling those real close to the guards and gets by once again. Really nicely done by Oldenburg.
Yeah, great shot, great line call, great weight.
Just hack.
Just poke out a little on the opposite side, but
I would like to
tough
hit
shot.
this and not roll all the way through if we hit the guard.
Now here's where the experience with old teammates comes into play too. If there's a tendency for Matt on this particular shot, it's to roll it over a little bit with the intern soft in the middle of the sheet. That's not a bad thing in this spot because if it wrecks the guard, opens it up, it can still roll into the rings the same as Becca's did. So this shot plays into Matt's throw to get a good result.
Yes. For line. Hurry.
Well, Becca's calling sweep right away. Must have done what you said.
I'm sure Becca's aware of the same thing.
Hurry. We're on the guard.
Touch it. Red
Tick
back.
there.
She'll do it.
See if Maddie can get it out of play. It does stick around, so
Okay.
not a bad result at all. Pushes the other red under the
You got
corner
an audible off.
and goes to back 12. So
It's a pretty lonely yellow rock there in the
it's
middle.
getting much more lonely.
You got a little bit of help with that kind of center guard up there.
And Matt does what we talked about before that shot. Just rolls it over a little bit, but gets the good result that they were hoping for. And every bit as good as making the hack waiter. Moves that guard over a little more so it's not a center guard either.
It's always curl.
Pro side misses. You know, we always talk about that no matter what level you're at. You know, always missing on the correct side. And he knew that going in. He mentioned I can wreck that guard and be just fine.
All the way. Keep going. Keep going all the way as far as it goes.
I want to finish this as much as they can.
Nice throw.
Buries most of it. They'll have the same type of shot they just had.
I mean,
This one,
it's probably the double peel.
Jason, will be a little trickier too
Double
because
peel's tough. Yep, same
now
shot.
it's going to cross that center line.
You think I'm going to
once
wreck?
it gets there, a
Wreck
little
it.
farther over. So we might see a little more curl, even with a couple inches difference, as you mentioned before. Once it gets to the center line, it takes that little harder turn.
Yeah, very weight sensitive too. This is one where if you throw it a little bit lighter than you wanted to, it could curl earlier and get across that center line, you know, faster. Or if you overthrow it, it takes a while to get there. Hangs off that line, and then you need to wait for it to get to the line.
Looked like Matt got that one out there.
Yep.
Still fading.
Yes. Yes. Now we're crashing.
Now sweeping
Whoa.
to get by.
Whoa.
Yeah, Becca was right on the sweep there. Tried to get Matt going. It's looking like a very similar result to the previous
She
one.
was. You mentioned he thought he floated it out a hair in that release, and he thought so too, so he didn't want to touch it and blow it by, but Becca was absolutely correct in having him sweep right away.
Yeah, and I think that was because it was a little tighter line. I think if it was on the same line on the previous throw, it gets by. Don't listen to him, Maddie. Just go out there and get the broom down. Might have heard that line before on that intern in the middle of the sheet, too.
Matt's doing a lot of cutters in his day.
So strange how it always happens to be on that line. So important guard. Aidan Oldenburg guarding for their lives in this 6th end, down by a point.
Wait's there. Wait's good.
Okay, split the center.
Just need to get up a little
Line's
bit
good.
now.
This line looks better than the last one. This one should come all the way across. Hopefully not too much.
Yeah, it needs to stop now.
Sit.
Will it leave a hole on that side?
This is that spot again, too, where it just keeps going and going.
Make it interesting.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Did I throw that
For one of the teams.
Yeah.
Fortunate for the other.
I think this turn curls a little more. Same way.
So I think if you're Bear and Oldenburg, you want the roll to be made if they clear this, because then if it's under the guard, you can freeze to it and try to force, and worst case give up 2. The closer this is to no is probably the harder it is for them to keep Matt and Becca from getting a bunch.
Yep. Yes. Hard.
On this one early.
They're holding the line on this one.
Yep.
You saw that rock going back a little bit. Different throw on different turns for Matt on that shot.
Play it off one. Oh, goodbye.
Oh, that's perfect. Now the roll has to be made for
You're holding more than I thought
Yeah.
you could. I was like, uh-oh.
I think I threw it
Bear
across
one way or the other. I think you want to roll to the corner under the 2-rock stagger.
Yeah,
I think she's
even if
calling
you're
the
back
draw around everything here.
Oof.
Trying to get to the back 4-foot.
Yeah, right here. Right in
Boy,
line.
if you ever make the hit and roll under the 2 corner guards, I'm not sure they can get to it. You'd have to slash yellow to get it out.
Okay, you got it.
It's a little thin to the corner.
I would agree. I think I would be leaning towards that hit and roll under. You know, you might get lucky and catch the back one too and spill those 2 back ones where they're only sitting, where they only have 2 more in the house.
Yeah, the issue here is you can't make it good enough that they don't have a little run with that rock that Matt just threw.
Okay.
You could hope for a jam somewhere on the back, but even if this overburies, there's space between the guard and the red stone in the top of the 8, so there will be a run to get to it.
You got it.
Now maybe edge on those.
Maybe throw one buried and just shot rock ahead of that red one that's out in the open.
Yeah, you want this as deep as you can get it.
Yeah,
Separate them. Biting back forwards is your ideal spot.
Easy.
Final stone of the 6th for
go.
Madison Bear.
Curl.
Needs to get off the corner guard.
Curl, curl, curl.
That's not going to curl.
Yeah, just ran out there on her.
Yeah, a little wider path and just stayed right there, so it'll be touch the paint
Right here.
for
I think it's
6
410. 420.
for Matt and Becca.
Or excuse me, 410.
4 is the most we've seen on the
405,
feature
I
sheet
think
so
it'd be okay.
far, and pretty sure they're going to manage at least 5.
You know, the easiest way to score 5 is an open draw for
'Cause I don't
6.
think
Free
we
draw
were
for
trying to
6.
go through the hole in our red with like back 4, is it?
No.
No.
No, hell no.
Interesting
So let's go.
line they'll have to play.
I'm on the edge of that yellow rock.
Yeah.
Edge of that 12 foot.
Yep. I was thinking A in Columbia.
Okay.
Little ad, please.
Final stone,
Nice. I like it.
6th end,
Weight's
going
good.
out wide for Becca Hamilton.
Don't sweep it, please.
Weight's good, back.
See how they can guess
Then go.
on the outside of the sheet.
Hurry. Hurry.
Looks like it's all there.
Whoa.
Shot
That's
back.
going to stop on the paint. Nice guess there from Becca.
Good shot.
6 it is. That will
That's
be
a tough one.
10-3 lead all of a sudden.
Probably.
You're good.
Yeah, I think we shake.
Good game, guys.
Believe
Good
we're
luck.
getting handshakes on that one.
Good luck.
Good curling. Good luck.
So a close game turns into a blowout in one fell swoop.
Okay.
Matt and Becca, the 10-3 victory after that 6-point end over Madison Bear and Aidan Oldenburg. That'll drop Bear and Oldenburg to 2-2 and get Matt and Becca to 2-2. So that pool tightening up even more. It's going to be a dogfight for playoff spot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is one of those games where the scoreboard doesn't indicate how close of a game this was, right? The one end there at the end is kind of what separated it and made the scoreboard look worse.
Yeah, and you even look back to that first end, they had a draw for a third point after scoring the two to the
Susie
side of the
never
floor.
lets me
Not
do
an
fun
easy one.
things.
But those points loom large,
Aidan
and
started sweeping, it was fun.
psychologically the
Like,
3-point
my God.
deficit even much different than 2 starting the game. But Matt and Becca played very well. They positioned rocks well. They managed their positioning, even that last end as we're talking about with playing the hack weight shots but making sure you're on the right side. The tolerance is tight. Twice wrecking that guard but rolling into the rings, and every single one of those rocks ended up counting.
Yeah, that's we talked about pro misses, and with their experience, they know the correct way to miss things, and it worked out for them by those rocks getting in the house and ending up on the scoreboard.
So a quick look at the other scores before we sign off. Anderson Stapera now leading Geving and Schuster 5-3 on sheet B. Weldon Franey maintaining their 5-2 lead over Anderson and Richardson. And Podol and Perry trying to finish off that broadcaster bump, now leading 9-5 over Regan and Todd Burr. And Smitty will be watching your game in the morning, fully expecting the W after sitting in that chair. It's had magic the last day and a half.
If that's the case, you can expect me here in between every draw. So
there's going to be a fight, I think, to get in there. Now, all of a sudden, we don't have to look for broadcasters anymore. Strangest thing. But for Tyler George and Jason Smith, we appreciate you watching. Tomorrow morning, we'll get back to action once again. Feature game on Sheet C, as always, will be Cora Farrell and Coleman Thurston taking on Vicky Persinger and Danny Casper. I believe CEO Dean Gemmel will be stepping in for myself, taking one game off for this tournament. But thanks for watching, and we will see you tomorrow morning.